Okay, let's get started here. We welcome everyone to this Sunday School webinar. I hope you have an amazing time wherever you are in the world. Some of you just got up this morning, and some of you are going to bed. And we have this webinar so that you can build yourself. And in that case, when you're building yourself, you have something to give, so you can give it away to others and help them build themselves, because any business need leadership. This webinar, and that's what we're talking about. A lot of times at these webinars, there's of course hundreds of things that we mention, but you will never hear me talk about compensation plans or any technical issues or back offices or stuff. These are strictly your personal development. And since personal development is two words, it's personal and it's development, you understand the importance of you building yourself. So today we have an interesting subject, because sometimes people let their ego run amok and they think that they already there, or they made it, or it's a done deal. It's never a done deal until you leave the earthly body, whatever happens. Until then, it's a continuous learning curve, and to learn stuff every day. And since you can't give what you don't have, you got to go to the people who have something to give. So never take instructions for someone who can't take you to the next level. That's why we have these webinars. So the purpose of your personal development is to create the culture. Every organization has a culture, and the culture is always set on the top. That's why I love direct sales, or whatever you call it, online marketing, network marketing, relationship marketing. It has many names, but everyone is in charge of their own success. No one is working for someone else, or no one is, either it's down or up in the organization. No one is working for anyone else except themselves. That's the tricky thing with this industry, that we duplicate, both the good things and the bad things. So the person who get an organization organized and learn them how to follow principles will be the most successful. And that we talk a lot about mindset, and that you make decisions every day, and success or non-success, failure, is also a result of decision making. And everybody have their own choice. You have a choice to be on these webinars. The people who are smart enough to understand to be on these webinars, to listen to them, to read books, to do other things, they are the winners. And like I said, I started this with some people, they think they made it because they have a lot of money in the bank account. That's not success. Money can disappear overnight. You never know what happens, but the real success is who you are, who you train yourself to be. So the theme of today is become a person of value. And this has to do with your results, of course. And your results, this is something that people don't really get. They look at their progress and they say, well, look how good I am, or look how bad I turned out to be, or look at my results, they're not as good as I thought, or and some people don't realize that The results they have today are what they planted 3-6 months ago. That's how it works in any business, in any person's life. What you are reaping today is what you planted 3 to 6 months ago, both in a good way and in a bad way. So did you plant the wrong stuff 6 months ago? That's what you're reaping right now. And that's why we need to be careful, and we need to be diligent, and we need to be on top of things when we're building our organization to create that kind of culture that we want, and that kind of culture that actually makes a difference. And, we have teams. You're part of a bigger team. You're probably part of someone's team, but you have your own team, of course. And the biggest mistake that people do is that they have different rules for different teams. So instead of have the same rules for everyone. And that's a mistake that will duplicate. You treat someone one way, you treat another person in another way, will not work. If you don't treat everyone the same, then you're not a real leader. Because you can't give free rides for someone and not free rides for another one, because they will find out. And that's not fair. Everyone works for themselves. Everyone has their own business. Anyway, so if a team is to reach its full potential, the player needs to play by the same rules. So everything is for the good of the team. Remember that. There's a saying, I love that saying, that is, it's not what works that matters. It's what duplicates that matters. Then you can, every time you're on your way to do something for your team or for your members, then think, is this duplicatable? That means that if you do it, people will start doing it. You get it? If you do it, people will start doing it, or they will stop doing it, whatever it is. Not doing a thing is also doing something. And prosperity does not come from magic formulas, or and even I put prayer in here because you can pray. Prayer is good, if you do that, if you're a person of prayer. If you're not a person of prayer, then you probably you do something else. But what this means is that prosperity doesn't come from weird stuff. It's just following the laws. It's just following the principles. That's real success. And if you're going to leave planet Earth successful, you need to, at some point, every person in their lives need to realize and start following the laws. So I'm not saying that prayer doesn't help, or you meditate or something, or you visualize it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who put their only trust in those things. You can't pray and then not take action. You can't have a magic formula and then disobey laws, universal law. It doesn't work that way. So we're all here. That's why it's so simple to actually become successful. You just have to follow some basic laws. Wow. That's why it's for everyone. And I love that, because laws make life predictable. Success is not a pursuit. You don't chase success down the road. Success will chase you down the road when you start to be obedient to the laws. Wow. How do I know this? I've done it. That's why I can sit here and talk about it. Success is a result of obedience to the laws. Not the laws that the government put up. Those are not laws. Those are something else. I'm talking about the universal, the laws that the creator created so we all can, plug in or plug out. And we use this as an example. It's such a good example to understand, why some people are successful, some people are not successful. And this guy Maslow, he came up with this, the meaning of life. He calls this his philosophy, this thing he came up with a success pyramid. And he said, this is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to become successful. But you can't become successful if you don't change. And you can't become successful if you cheat or you try to take shortcuts or, doing those things, you believe in rubbing crystals under a pyramid and think you're going to become successful. No. That's why most people are not successful in the lower levels. They stay down there until they die, until they are 6 feet under. They never go anywhere because they try to take shortcuts in life. They believe in cheating. They believe in manipulating. They believe in whatever, and they will stay. And listen, this is not about material success. Material success comes along with it, but you can also have a lot of material stuff and be a complete moron. It actually works that way. So the success I'm talking about is your own personal development. And when you're climbing these steps in the Maslow meaning of life, you're actually learning stuff. You are becoming something else than you weren't yesterday. That is real success. And you're climbing up, and you becoming, and you're learning, and you give away, and you become a leader and all that. Okay. So this is so important because this is actually going all the way back to the last slide with the Maslow meaning of life. Every person in this world has a worth. And you hear politicians talk about this. They try to brainwash people and manipulate people with the same kind of meaning, but they're not saying the right words. So you can actually see through the lies. Everyone has worth, but not everyone has value. Wow. So that means that if you want to become a real success, you have to become a person of value. And a valuable person is more valuable. So you are going to get paid for who you are. You're going to get paid for what you know, the knowledge you have, the experience you have. People with no knowledge and experience, they'll get paid for their time. Someone tell them, stay in that room, pull that thing, and then you go home at 5. So they get paid for their time. It's called job. It's okay. It's nothing bad. Everyone has a job at some point. But the point is, we are supposed to be rulers of our own life. We are supposed to be self-sufficient. We are supposed to be taking care of ourselves. So if you want to be successful, you have to become a person of value. You have to get, those characteristics that a successful person has. You can go look it up yourself. So what do I mean? But what's value? Like I said, when you know something that someone else doesn't, you have value. When you have acquired something, when you've done something, you can know it in theory, that's one thing, but you haven't really got the knowledge until you do it in action. When you do it in action, When you take action of something that you learned from these webinars and you do it, you implement it in your organization, in your team, on yourself, then you own it. Then you have value. So for every day, for every month, for every week, a person do something they haven't done before, they leave the comfort zone, they do something they haven't done, they will create value. And the only way to change and to create value is self-discipline. You got to be disciplined on yourself. Most people try to be disciplined on others. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because it's duplicatable. Kids, they do as their parents do. You can't be a smoker and tell your kids not to smoke, because eventually they will look at you and say, why are you smoking? You can't be doing whatever, this or that, and tell your kids not to do it. You got to lead by example as a parent. Same thing in business, same thing here. You got to lead by example. And there is attraction in discipline. Disciplined people will attract other people. Other people love when people know where they're going. You can just go to yourself. Do you want to follow someone that they don't know where they're going? They don't have discipline. They're just all over the place. They have no clue. They don't take notes. They don't listen. They don't read. They have a big ego. It actually connects. The people in the lower levels of the Maslow pyramid who stay down the whole life, they never change. They are poor, miserable, have miserable lives, blame everyone else for their mistakes. It's because they have ego. The biggest ego is always in the lower levels. People lose ego when they acquire knowledge and they work themselves up and they take action, because they know that it's hard work behind all the success. And the thing is that we have the exact same amount of time. People say, I don't have time. This is a good one, especially when you recruit people. You know, the two most common answers or questions you get, or when you ask someone to join a business, say, I don't have money, or I don't have time. Both those two are just excuses. They have money, or they can find money if it's valuable to them, if they really value, the opportunity but they don't value it, because they think it's something crooked or scam or, something wrong or, whatever. Everyone has to find out for themselves. But you don't get time. You take time. People who think they get time are losers. People who know that they take time are winners. You got to take time. You got to plan. You got to have an action plan. You got to have a notebook full of notes. You got to have a schedule. You got to know what to do the next 24 hours. You got to know what to do the next week, the next month, the next 6 months. You got to have a plan. And you know that you got to take the time it takes to do whatever you need to do. And also another reason why people stay down low in the lower levels of the Maslow pyramid, they never raise above the miserable life they're living, is because their desire to change is not big enough. They think it's okay, to have handouts or to have someone else give them so that they can survive, when they should be doing something by themselves. And not the government should not be the entity that gives you whatever you need. For a short period of time, yes. When maybe someone happens to end up in a situation, it was whatever, and you need some help. That's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, government try to brainwash people so that they can control them. Say, hey, we can give you some benefits and we can give you some money, but you have to do what we tell you. You're not a free person, and that is not good. The purpose is to be free. The purpose is you got to make your decisions. You will get it if you stay with me for a couple of years. Some people get angry when I talk like this. That's fine. It's okay, because it doesn't hurt me. So your desire to change must be bigger than your desire to stay the same. And then we'll go into character. Why is it called alphabet characters? Because it never change. An A is an A and a B is a B. It never changes. That's why character is so important. You have to build your character. A character is something that never change. So if you wobbly, you say one thing to one person, another to another person, that's not character. A character is being the same person. And don't be attracted. Some people have charismatic, the way of lighting up a room or whatever, don't be attracted to that. Be attracted to character. People who have character, they have values in life. They have characters, they are committed to a value. And they're dedicated. And it means to be the same person. The best explanation of character I've heard, listen up now. Character is being the same person always. So it's meaning that being the same person when people see you as when people don't see you. So you're not two persons. You don't act in one way when people see you, and then you act in another way when people don't see you. That's not character. And those people will never become successful, because all people with character will be successful. And you want to have a great life, and you want to leave planet Earth when you're done one day with good character. So character is commitment with no compromise to those values that a person has. And values are not bad things, values, So you got to have your core values, what you believe in. And people with character, he doesn't compromise. He never compromises his values. A yes is a yes, and a no is no, and everything in between is of evil. Think about that. That's a pretty brilliant statement. A yes is a yes, and a no is a no. When you be rolled on a stretcher into a hospital and you're going to have brain surgery, and you ask your doctor, can you make it? You don't want to hear, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. You want to hear, yes, of course, we're going to fix you. A yes is a yes, and a no is a no. That was maybe a bad example, because a doctor probably will tell you the good things, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. A yes is a yes, a no is a no, and everything in between is not of the good. So character, therefore, is simply unchanging. It doesn't change. And now we're coming back to the culture that we started this webinar with. You're creating a culture of unchanging people. So people need to integrate. The word integrate means to become one. So you're going to become one with what? With your values. So you're a person who say, yes, I will be there. Then you will be there. Or you said, no, I will not be there. You will not be there. Or you, yes, I will come, or yes, I will do that, or no, I'm not be there, or I will not do that. A yes or a no. But to integrate, you have to integrate your values. You have to integrate the characteristics. You see, the word character, characteristics. So when you start doing that, when you integrate your words, your deeds, and your actions to become one, the good stuff, that's to say, because the bad stuff won't work, you are building yourself. And remember, you see how this ties into, this is a red thread, everything ties into each other. We started with this today. A result is a product of what you did months ago. So when you start building yourself, it takes time. Time is your best friend. Imagine when you get just being part of something like this. You get this half hour plus of information that you don't get nowhere else. Maybe you get it, somewhere, but it's hard to get information like this. Don't you think? Well, look around. See where you can get stuff like this. How many times a month do you get this information? Not very often. And always from the same people, the people who have done something, who have empiric knowledge. So the character is a big part of your result. And when you build, you can imagine your organization need to be have the right culture steered in the right direction. And never confuse reputation with character. You hear something about someone, you don't know who that person is. Don't confuse it. So guys, this is the main thing. I leave you with this today. Lead with your life, not your words. So you will be an example of what to do and not to do. Okay, that was actually exactly 30 minutes. And thank you for being here. Not that it matters, but it matters to you what you do. And guys, just stay healthy out there and be prosperous, joyous, and free. And most of all, free. And I'll see you next Sunday.